Is it round number 4 already?
Yeah.
This day's just flying by, baby. More fun that should be legally allowed to be had.
I've been
Drinking heavy?
no.
I saw a picture of the Guinness.
The other day?
Yeah.
I was at Thirsties and I took a picture of a perfectly poured Guinness. I was sitting there with some buddies watching the PGA and betting on the holes.
Yeah?
Yeah, just there, like $1. Will he get up and down? Will he hit par? Will he go? I'm saying birdie. And we throw in $1. And it made it a whole lot of fun.
You a fan of Scheffler? like him?
I'm not really a fan of even really
Golf?
Yeah, I mean, I Tiger was always one. I think Tiger's got one more. To see him do what he did, it was,
Everybody jumped on that bandwagon in the beginning.
With Tiger?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How could you not? You're crushing. The guy was crushing.
Yeah.
I used to have the Tiger-proof courses, and now it's just weird to see him what is he, 17 over, 18 over?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
People are like he's had his back fused and he's been through kinds of problems.
Well, he almost lost his leg in that accident.
Which one?
In the accident where he went off the side of in the canyon.
Was that in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they said that they thought they were going to have to amputate the leg. So the fact that he's even walking, 3 days of 18 holes or 4 days of 18 holes is pretty. It's pretty impressive. Hey, Cliff Clavin just walked by.
Was he on Oxycontins and kinds of drugs?
Oh, probably. Yeah. I would have think that there's everything.
You have that much money. How do you not have a 24-hour limo? Hey, I'm going to go rip it up. I don't want to drive. You would have thought you learned your lesson. I mean, these people with all kinds of money that get in car accidents or hurt people, kill people.
Well, wasn't it his wife? Oh, that was when he was really. I remember the one where he's like,
yeah. There's a lot of conspiracy theories when he got in that accident that his wife.
She did
hit him in the face with a club because you didn't see him for 4 months.
Yeah,
and his teeth looked different than the previous pictures.
Yeah, and the back windshield was smashed out by a club. Yeah, she went crazy.
Yeah.
And he's calling like that Rachel Uchitel was my favorite thing because he called her and somebody turned it into a slow jam. Take your name off my phone. Do you ever hear that?
No.
Oh, I got to find this. Take my name off your phone, Tiger Woods. Hang on a second. Take my name.
I'm not going anywhere.
Name off your phone, Tiger.
This portion of the
Woods.
Billified program brought to you by...
Yeah, here's the slow jam remix.
It's Tiger. I need you to do me a huge favor. Please, you gotta do this for me. Can you take your name off your phone? My wife went through my phone and made me call you. Take your name off your phone.
So I don't understand what that means exactly, but somebody explained it to me once. So it would come up as her, but if she took her name off of it, it wouldn't.
I don't know how that works.
But this was the call.
Yes, you can come up as private or spam or something else.
Great feeling. I'm addicted. Can you take your name?
Man, the women he had.
But he didn't discriminate.
Yeah,
it was all over the board. All over the board. All over the board. He was a man of passion. I'll say that. He's a man of passion.
You should never get married.
I had a lot of problems with the Tiger situation personally. Not for the reasons that you're going to think. I think that this is none of anybody's fucking business. And the fact that this guy had to come out and have a press conference that was packed with his mother sitting in the front row.
At the Masters?
No. When he came out and talked about all this,
I thought it was right before the Masters.
I don't remember when exactly it was.
I just watched a biography about him.
There was
they wanted him to apologize. He goes, "It's none of your business."
Yeah, but he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He came out and he apologized. So there was this whole press, and he said,
"I thought that was absolutely wrong. He shouldn't have done
my
that."
boot of faith, and I will get back to being this.
Right.
But your mom's sitting in the front row, and I'm going, that's my point with like the teacher we talked about. Everybody in your family, in your inner circle, will always know this about you forever. You were in the back seat at 3 o'clock in the morning with a 17-year-old boy who ran away when the cops showed up, and you were naked. That is in print around the globe and in there, seared into the frontal cortex of the brain of your family members.
Have you ever seen his biography, the HBO special?
Yes. But I hated, and so I go, you take that, the Omaha lady, and she doesn't have to get up and apologize in front of everybody with a press conference and cameras and snapping. That room was fucking packed.
Right. Tiger should have told them all to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, but it was,
I don't have to apologize
I think
to anybody.
it was like some PR move. And whatever the thing was. But
he wasn't losing popularity.
Well,
people were
there were people,
with him.
There were some women I had heard of. Oh, I'm so disappointed in Tiger.
Well.
You know what? It's none of your business. I will
You're
say.
You're not sleeping with him, so don't worry about it.
It's a strange world.
Doesn't do anything with your life with Tiger.
No. My father used to always say it's a strange world when you have to declare your bedroom habits at the door, meaning that you have to identify as gay or you have to identify for those people who don't want to say anything. Now, there were some people that that wore their heart on their sleeve, and if they did want to walk out with their partner, you really couldn't do that years ago without being shunned completely from society. We've sort of turned that around.
I remember people in the bar like, don't you feel for Tiger? Don't you feel for Tiger? I'm like, fuck Tiger. I'm like, this guy's got $1 billion. He's banging women all over the world. And he can hit a 72 blindfolded. Boo fucking who?
I did feel bad for Tiger because of that. Just for that one thing
like,
that you had to go and apologize.
Married. You're one of the most popular people walking earth.
Yeah.
You know, every woman wants you. You're very athletic. You're in your prime. Wait for all that. And in the biography, Charles Barkley told him the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't get married.
But the problem
Wait till you're 35, 40.
He's such a nerd. And he's such a, the way he sounds is the way I think he really is. He's kind of a Poindexter, and you know what I mean? And that sort of, so I had heard or read, I think Rolling Stone years ago did an article about how Tiger Woods went backstage at a U2 concert, but he had to ask to see the set list because he didn't know any of the songs. So when they came back, he could go, hey, man, I love when you play Sunday Bloody Sunday. Wow, that's such a hit.
Right.
I don't know. I just remember reading that, and I think it was Rolling Stone. So your whole life has been this
he was
one
propelled
thing.
into that.
Sure.
You know.
Forever. I mean, usually the kids that are propelled like that, pushed like that, you were on the Tonight Show at 3 years old doing your thing. That's a stage daddy you had, right? I mean, he was really living vicariously through the kid. A lot of times that blows up. The kid ends up resenting, hating you, doing this. I mean, you know, you were lucky. You got a kid who followed through and absolutely
just amazing.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah,
he was great at it, and still is pretty good. But
I like this Scotty Scheffler. I was talking to my dad. Was watching it. He's waiting for his first kid to be born.
Okay,
I think he's 26. Got married, churchgoer, and I think you're gonna see. I think in sports, some of the more church and Jesus making a comeback, which I think is great for today's society.
What do you mean?
Well, just to try to be more grounded and maybe think about the 10 Commandments before you run off. You've got people in football beating their wives and all these accusations against them. Then you've got young kids, mostly from Penn State, in the finals. After they win, they've got headbands, I love Jesus. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just
definitely not. No. It's better than being accused of 44 women, you know, being raped and then having the charges dropped, and you're getting $168 million guaranteed, the quarterback from the Browns, and then it didn't even work out for him.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of little stuff out there that you hear with these pro athletes that just think they're untouchable.
Well, the problem is that in athletics, and you can think back to when you were in school, the ones that were revered were the ones who had athletic prowess. And so all your life, take it, like when you meet the guys at the NFL and we go, well, how can they act this way? They have been treated like they walked on water since they were little kids because they were better at something than anybody else. Right. And I always say, do you know how good you have to be to suck at the NFL? I mean, do you know how good you have to be just to get the shot, to get there, to get a tryout, to get stiff, to have someone have your name on their roster?
Right.
You got to be pretty damn good. And that is a brutal sport. So when I'm watching, you know, when I see this, I always think every guy who's playing that's starting in the NFL has been the best at every level they played all the way through. And so they were always treated differently, always, because that's what we do. We revere sports athletes. And so when we hear about Stephon Diggs, he's a real asshole, he's a real pain. Yeah, well, maybe we love the humble athlete. Everybody does. But could you imagine who's going to turn out normal when everywhere you went, you're like, hey, man, you're the best. I love when you're a hero.
Sign this.
You're a hero. From the time you were Pop Warner. It was crazy.
Yeah, maybe not Pop Warner.
I don't know. I'll tell you what. When my kid played in
high school, and then you go to Division I.
Yeah, but my kid played in Alabama, right? And he was on a 12-under team. And I watched the way they treated the kids that were good. And it is the same way. I watched it with my own eyes. There was this kid. They called him Speedy. He was great. He was great. He was a little kid, great athlete, great arm. All the kids, the way the peers looked at that kid was exactly how that'll go on for the rest of his life if he keeps his athletic ability.
What happened to Speedy?
I don't know, because my son stopped playing football. I actually asked about Speedy, and he told me Speedy was doing great, playing football. Had changed to receiver from quarterback. That was the only thing. But so I go, all your life at every level, you've been the best. What do you think is going to happen?
Right.
What are you going to do? All right, Doug, I'm going to go out to the tally ho, and we're going to ask some girls some questions.
Okay. Question number 1.
Yes.
Do you like short, fat guys that are 53 years old? Maybe not that one.
Can I slide that in there?
Yes.
I like that.
I like to slide that in there, yeah. What's best about a guy? His looks, his physique, or his bank account?
All right, I can throw that in there. Yeah. Physique or bank account. Because I was thinking, like, this would be will she know, much like we played the last time. So it would be things like the first atomic bomb was dropped on what Japanese city? Will she know it or not?
No. She'd probably say Kung Fu Panda.
Well, I hope she does. But I'm thinking questions like that. Who is the creator of the classic book of characters Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn?
Mark Twain.
Yeah. Well,
it was Hiroshima, right?
Well, I liked Hiroshima, yeah. What do you call the 3 trailing dots that indicate omission on a text? So no one will know this.
To be continued.
Yeah, well, it's called an ellipsis. What are they?
Yeah, they're not going to know that.
The 3 dots.
They're more closer to Lipschitz than elliptis.
What force pulls objects towards Earth's core and keeps humans from floating in the sky?
Is that gravity?
It would be. Did you have to ask it a question? Did you just ask that as a question? Is that gravity?
I was watching Jeopardy last night, where a woman made the top 10 and final history money grabs. I think $97,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn good.
Yes, it is.
So there's a kid that I had yesterday. We mentioned, and I'm trying to see if I can get him on. He got himself in some trouble at his school. He had made some fake email accounts. The school realized they were fake email accounts, and he was trying to get other kids in trouble for doing things, whatever. It sounded like silly kid stuff. And then he somehow faxed. So they said fax. You can fax from computers, but this sounded like there was a cover page, so I don't know if he went to Kinko's or anywhere. But he faxed in as the principal and faxed in his resignation letter as the principal.
Okay. And
apparently this kid has messed with the principal a lot, but the dumb kid put his cell phone number on the cover page, so they were able to figure out who it was. Oh! So I want to talk to this kid so badly, and I'm trying to see if I can get him on. We've made contact, and I don't know. In a way, he's my hero, because I always go, the kids, those were the kids that were told a lot of times, amount to nothing. It's the classic movie, it's always the wise ass, amount to nothing. I had a kid in school that was a little bit younger than me, and he was in accelerated classes. So he would be if he was in 9th grade, he was taking chemistry or something, right? Which in my school, you couldn't take till you were a junior. So this kid, he's in a biology class, and the teacher was a newer teacher, and she said, we're going to have an end-of-year party, just like you did when you were in elementary school. So somebody says, can we bring in beer? Because that's what you'll ask when you're 14, 15 years old. And they, oh, my God, no. Well, he brings in a beer, or somebody does. He gets a hold of it. They say, if you open that, you're in big trouble. He opens it, and they wind up throwing him out of a public school, throwing him out. So he didn't graduate.
Wow.
He had to go.
Is it the only school?
I think that once you were banned by public school, I'm not sure there was anyone that would take you. I don't know. And we lived there were no other schools really in our area that you could go to.
Okay.
It was
that small town.
It was the largest school district in New York State per square mile, 200 square miles.
Wow.
For the Pine Plains Central School District.
One
school, 200 square miles.
So you had to drive 200 miles to play a football team?
No. Oh. It was 200 square miles when you're going around. It just means like area-wise, that's what it covered in square miles. No, you were a half hour away from anything, though.
Okay.
So there was no busing to get him anywhere else. So this kid, he was probably like 16 or something, drops out of high school, goes to the community college, gets his GED, gets his associate's degree, goes on to NYU, learned Japanese, went and taught over in Japan, and now is some major financial rich motherfuckers.
Wow.
And I loved it because I go, that was a smart ass that everybody wrote off as, and he was in accelerated classes and things, but still a pain in the ass and all this stuff. And I go, this kid who's messing with the principal, he'll probably become something. If he takes that.
You should keep his name, and every year put it in your memory so it pops up, and give him a call. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I'll have to see. I'm hoping I can get him on the podcast tomorrow.
Well, some of those people that just feel that I'm smarter than you and can show it. I mean, like your friend or whoever was, open the beer. What are you going to do to me?
Right.
Open the beer.
Right.
Now you're out.
Well, they threw him out. Yeah. That was it. It was out. There was like a whole because in those, I think you have what's called a superintendent's hearing. So like they can only suspend you for so many days, and then if they feel like the punishment is more severe than that or deserves a more severe punishment, they go to what's called a superintendent's hearing. And at the superintendent's hearing, usually whatever the worst case scenario is what happens, because so they try to make it so they bring in witnesses, and it's like a real court hearing, but it's all against you. And your parents can be there, and you're allowed to cross-examine the witnesses. It's a really uncomfortable process, to say the least. And it never ends well.
You think that superintendents out in Omaha are going to be talking about the teacher like, hey, anybody got any pictures? What do you want to do with this? Let him back in?
No, but the superintendent at this kid's school was in Baldwinsville. You know where that is down by
I know where
Syracuse?
Baldwinsville.
Yeah.
My father knows. He knows a shortcut to Baldwinsville.
He does? The hell?
Fucking worst ride I ever took. We went to, this was 20 years ago. We went to a family reunion, and he goes, we'll get there. I know this shortcut through Baldwinsville. Every side street had a stop sign, and my father, being a school bus driver, would stop, pause, and go down. And I'm in the back seat looking at 37 stop signs. This took forever. And it's been a running joke forever. It was just so long and agonizing.
Well, years ago, the superintendent.
Hi, Dad.
Of the. What's happening, Dave?
Yeah, exactly. I was in Baldwinsville.
Driver Dave.
Oh God.
The superintendent of Baldwinsville was crowd surfing at some student event.
Who is this now?
The superintendent of the Baldwinsville schools.
Okay.
And
crowd surfing?
Crowd surfing. Okay. And then I believe that night got a DWI. And obviously lost his gig. But let me see if I think I have the story somewhere quickly where I can find it. Because there was a picture of him, and they have him crowd surfing.
That's tough for teachers. You want to let loose, but you can't let anybody see you because it's going to get back, and it hurts your reputation. And
that's why you go home, where you go out, where, you know what I mean?
Well, how far out can you go? I mean, if you're a teacher in Fairport, where do you go?
If you're a teacher
Hilton?
in Fairport, and
you go to Darien Lake at a concert with everybody else.
Yeah, well, who's letting loose to go crowd surfing at a high school event?
Who's letting loose to get in the backseat of a car with a 17-year-old?
That was my question,
There's
Doug.
different levels of craziness.
That was my question. Well, anyway, I'll find all this stuff. We'll see if we can get
AdamandEve.com is $1 billion corporation. It's just not selling the same 2 or 3 people every month.
Oh, no, it is not. No, it's your neighbors, Doug.
Yeah.
It's probably, you know what it could be?
What?
It could be Dave.
Could be. No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why do you might be surprised.
I don't want to be surprised.
That Elvis uniform,
uniform.
Elvis costume may have gotten more of a workout than you even know.
Yeah, getting on and off. By that time, he was too tired to do anything.
Love me tender.
No, it's more love those chicken tenders.
What
love
else?
The sweet and sour.
What else is going on in Doug's world before we wrap it up?
Oh, what is going on?
Who are you giving shout outs? You always give shout outs. You look in your mirror like Romper Room. You give shout outs to the people who liked your picture.
Yeah, I do. Gosh damn it. I might have a couple comedy gigs coming up in the Moose Lodge. And
nice. Any other fun things? You met a lady? Nothing?
No, I haven't been out too much. No. Want to. Well, golf season's coming up.
Yeah.
So, got to get in shape for that.
Yeah.
I'm drinking more.
Doug keeps wanting to have a weight loss competition.
Yes.
And I forgot to bring in the scale. I'll make a note to bring in the scale, and I'll do it with you. Okay. I'll do a weight loss competition. But Doug's like, yeah, I got to shows me a picture that popped up in his memories. I go, who's that? Meaning the other guy. He goes, that's me. I go, no, I know. Well, that's me, like, I was about 180, 90 pounds back then.
9 years ago.
And I said, he goes, I'm working on it. Well, kind of. It was the most defeated way of saying I'm trying to lose weight. He was like, I'm working on it. Kind of.
We got Jacqueline Michelle. We got Chris English, Dave Turpin, Rick Mintz, Lee Casey out there. Jerry Maynard, Robert Young, Mike Bliss, Dave McEntee, Rob Rice, and Rob Zanin.
There you go.
Our followers, baby. We're growing.
That's it. Little by little.
We're growers, not showers.
It's always been my excuse. All right, for Dougie Phelps in the house.
In the house, baby.
I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
Didn't know what to do. I turned the TV on, wrote a letter to you. The news was talking about a dragnet up on the